Part 2 of Kathy and Pat's garden. This is another section of garden, and they've got fencing going around to keep the chickens out, and they've been putting some compost in. And this area is going to have sweet potatoes in it. And right here, in these cages, they've got squash plants. And we've got a number of squash plants here that will grow huge and produce good squash. And they're being protected and have some places to grow. They've got butternut. And what else do you have? Pumpkin, zucchini, and zucchini in this little section. And they have weeded it, and we'll be putting down some wheat straw to mulch it. And this section is yet to be weeded, and it has some peanuts in it. And they also have an overhead sprinkler for irrigation. And then they've got some trellises again for beans to climb up. And here's a peanut plant. And they have a row of tomatoes here, which are looking nice and healthy. Go right down the row, and you can see how nice and green they are, and they're looking wonderful, looking really good. And then here are the green beans, ready to go up the trellis. They look good too. And then we have a section of corn. And it's coming up well. Looks like the birds are leaving it alone. And then they have a pecan tree here, and underneath a horse was buried, so the horse is fertilizing that pecan tree. And then they have their orchard back over here in this corner of their property. And they have a pear tree that produced 100 pounds of pears. That's the tallest tree that's there. And then they have peaches and plums and cherries that are growing and going to produce lots of food for them. So they've made some improvements on their property, and this is their fencing system here to keep the chickens out. And this is their back section of garden. They have two large sections of garden. And they'll be able to produce lots of food, and they do can their own spaghetti sauce. And they love peppers, both hot and sweet. So it looks like they'll have some good sweet corn also. Okay, so that brings us to Pat and Kathy's garden, and they like to do lots of canning from the food that they produce for themselves, and looks like they're going to produce lots of good food.